Good morning. We will come to order for the code enforcement hearing on April 1st, 2026. Let's all rise and pledge allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item 3 on the agenda calls for the approval of the minutes of our last hearing, which was March 4th, 2026. I did review the minutes. They are accurate, and I approve the minutes. Item 4, Madam Secretary, please swear in the staff members today who will be testifying.
All right. Ms. Ramon, state your name.
Oscar Moreira,
Michael Tarahan,
Paula Guy, Melissa Brubaker, Merlane DeMoise,
Brian Alves,
Josh Guevara, James O'Connor, Peter Avino.
You all affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Item number 5 calls for public comments. If anybody would like to comment this morning on anything that doesn't have to do with today's meeting, feel free. This is your time. Seeing no one, we're going to move on to the consent agenda. There is one item on the consent agenda. I've reviewed that, and I will, as special magistrate, approve the consent agenda. Item 7, fine hearings. And just to refresh everybody's recollection, anybody who's appearing here this morning in this section of the meeting has already been found in violation. So we're not going to relitigate the facts of the case. What I want to hear from anybody who is up here, what actions have you taken to rectify the situation? That's basically it. And we'll hear from staff first on each individual case, and they'll give me an update, and then you'll have an opportunity to speak as well. All right, so we'll start with case number 2507, 115414. The location of the violation, 7602 Banyan Street in Fort Pierce, and the property owner is Elania Cardenas Montesino on Banyan Street. Is the property owner here?
Your Magistrate, the contractors, I believe she's here.
All right, very good. Please state your name and your address, your relationship to this case, and be sworn in.
My name is Adeline Rivero. I'm the general contractor qualifying the work, and I'm here on behalf of the private provider that is doing the handling the violation process.
And your address.
5951 Northwest 201st Lane, Hialeah, Florida, 33015.
Andrea, do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you very much. First, we're going to hear from the investigating officer, and then you can update me on this case, and that's Mr. Morera.
Yes, sir. Good morning. For the record, I am resubmitting one photo taken January the 4th, 2024, showing the condition of the property before the unpermitted work was completed. 2 photos dated October the 24th, 2025. 4 photos dated December the 29th, 2025. One aerial picture from the St. Lucie Property Appraiser website. And I'm submitting one photo dated March 30, 2026. This case was brought to the January 7, 2026 Code Board hearing for Section 11.0501, Building and Sign Inspection. Please obtain a permit for the windows, front door, and enclosing of the carport. At the January 7, 2026 Code Board hearing, the contractor was present, and the magistrate made the decision to continue the case to the April 1st, 2026 Code Board fine hearing with a compliance date of March 15, 2026. Permit BLDR-2511-010256 was submitted November the 17th, 2025 and is currently in review. I have remained in contact with the owner, and as of March 31st, 2026, the property remains in violation.
Thank you, Mr. Morera.
You're welcome.
Yes,
Um,
anything to add?
Yeah, we're in the process of resolving all the violations by processing the permit applications for the windows and doors as well as the enclosure of the garage, of the carport into a garage. The permit for the windows and doors has already been issued, but the enclosure of the garage has given us a little more issue with the drawings that need to be submitted because there's this, they're asking for proof of certain conditions for the garage to be up to living conditions, something that they're asking for. And the garage is not for inhabitants, it's just for storage and use. And they're also asking for the private provider documents, and they're in the process of getting them. We just need a little bit more time.
Mr. Jernigan?
They have a permit in. Comments were sent back on March 2nd. It looks like they're not meeting the minimum 18 inches above the crown of the road. They have to turn in an approval from the health department because it is, even if it's being used as a storage space, if it wasn't shown like that on the plans and it was just shown as an enclosed space, it would be considered part of the habitable space. So there's still some outstanding comments they have to address there. And then they have to get some of their paperwork better organized for the private provider that they're using for the inspections.
How realistic is it, in your professional opinion, that they can get all this done?
If they actually work on it, it should only take about 60 days to get all that done.
Really?
Yeah, the private provider that is working with the owner to get the case moving is, he said he's a little backed up with work and he's the one handling the engineering documents as of right now. So he said if it could be extended to 90 days, that would be ideal, but if not, we'll try to make it work within the 60.
I see. Mr. Morera, any problem continuing this case for 90 days?
Not at all. They've been communicated back and forth. They've been very transparent. They're making an effort to try to get the permit, so I don't see any problems.
Based on the testimony and the good faith efforts made by the violator, I will continue this case to the code enforcement special magistrate hearing dated on August 5th, 2026. I'll continue it to our hearing on that date.
Okay, thank you. That's it.
Case number 2503-114710, location of violation, 5470 Southwind Trail in Fort Pierce. The property owners are Sophia Bentley Watkins and Sabrina Bernadette Watkins. And it's my understanding this has been removed from today's agenda, and it will appear at our hearing in May.
That's correct.
Case number 2512-116384. Location of violation 1099 West Joy Lane in Fort Pierce. The property owner is Doreen Oakley. And in this case, Section B, which is 3897, has been abated. So we're dealing with Section 130801 only in this case. Is anybody here from this case? Nobody is here, but we'll hear from the officer, Mr. Morera.
Yes, for the record, I am submitting two photos dated December 19, 2026. One an aerial photo from the property appraiser website, and one photo dated March 31st, 2026. This case was brought to the February 4, 2026 School Board hearing for Section 13.08.01 Standard Housing Code, Section 304.13.1 glazing. Please repair the broken window. At the February 4, 2026 School Board hearing, the property owner was not present, and the case was found in default. The special magistrate made the decision to continue the case to the April 1st, 2026 School Board fine hearing with a compliance date of March 15, 2026. At the beginning of the case, I made contact with the owner. After that, I made several attempts to contact the owner. Several messages were left, but he made no attempt to call me back to discuss the case. As of March 31st, 2026, the property remains in violation.
Mr. Morera, just for a point of clarification, you said that I continued the case. That's not correct, is it? I mean, he was found in default,
Yes,
and so therefore we just put it on the fine hearing already.
that is correct, sir.
Okay, just for
Yeah, I'm sorry.
clarification, right?
Mhm.
We didn't continue the fine hearing at all.
That is correct, sir.
Okay.
You're right.
Just for the record.
Yes.
And they did comply with Section 3897,
That is correct. They did take care of the grass.
but they've done nothing with regard to the glazing materials.
No, Your Magistrate.
And I'm looking at the photographs which you took yesterday,
Yes.
and no contact.
No, sir.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
In reference to case number 2512-116384, I, as special magistrate, make the following determination. After hearing the facts in this case, the testimony, and the report of staff that the violation still exists, and having considered the gravity of the violation, the actions, if any, taken by the violator to correct the violation, and any previous violations, I make the following determination. A fine of $250 per day, as recommended by staff, shall be imposed for each day the violation exists, starting March 16th, 2026, with a maximum fine not to exceed $5,000. Case number 2509-115874. Location of the violation is a lot on Shawnee Avenue in Fort Pierce, and the property owner is A&E Grading LLC based out of Conyers, Georgia. Anybody representing the LLC here today? I see no one, and we'll hear from the investigating officer, Mr. Morera.
Yes, for the record, I am submitting two photos dated January the 14th, 2026. One an aerial photo from the property appraiser website, and one photo dated March 30, 2026. This case was brought to the February 4, 2026 School Board hearing for Section 11.05.06 Notice of Vegetation Removal Application. Please obtain a vegetation removal permit. At the February 4, 2026 School Board hearing, the owner was not present, and the case was found in default. The special magistrate made the decision to present the case at the April 1st, 2026 School Board hearing with a compliance date of March 6th, 2026. I had had contact with the owner. Property owner has made no attempt to submit a permit to correct the violation. As of March 30, 2026, the property remains in violation.
Looks like a big operation going on over there.
Yes, that is correct.
When did you originally cite them?
That was September 23rd, 2025, Your Magistrate?
And no cooperation from this company?
No, Your Magistrate.
And they're just operating their business?
That is correct.
In reference to case number 2509-115874, I, as special magistrate, make the following determination. After hearing the facts in this case, the testimony, and the report of staff that the violation still exists, and having considered the gravity of the violation, the actions, if any, taken by the violator to correct the violation, and any previous violations, I make the following determination. A fine of $250 per day as recommended by staff shall be imposed for each day the violation exists, starting March 7th, 2026, with a maximum fine not to exceed $15,000. Case number 2512-116351. Location of violation 2510 Tamarind Drive in Fort Pierce. The property owner, German American Trading and Tourism Corporation. Is there anybody here? I see two representatives for the corporation. Please state your names and your positions with the corporation and your addresses, and be sworn in.
Okay. Melissa Canales, property manager, 5387 Northwest Milner Drive, Port St. Lucie, Florida, 34983.
And I'm Deidre Kidwell. I'm the general manager, 5804 Winter Garden Parkway, Fort Pierce, Florida, 34951.
Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. We'll hear from the investigating officer first, and then you'll have an opportunity to tell me what's going on and what progress you've made. Mr. Morera.
Yes, Your Magistrate. For the record, I am submitting one photo dated January the 14th, 2026, one photo dated January the 26th, 2026, one photo dated March 30, 2026, and one aerial photo from the property appraiser website. This case was brought to the February 4, 2026 School Board hearing for Section 13.08.01 Standard Housing Code, Section 304 exterior structure. Please obtain a permit to repair the roof. At the February 4, 2026 School Board hearing, the owner was not present, and the case was found in default. The special magistrate made the decision to present the case at the April 1st, 2026 School Board hearing with a compliance date of March 6, 2026. I have contact with the property manager, and as of March 30, 2026, the property remains in violation.
Thank you, Mr. Morera. You've heard from the investigating officer. You are in violation. What are you doing to get a permit?
I have given Mr. Hatfield a few proposals on getting the roof fixed. I'm waiting on him to sign off on one of them. I've done my part. I'm waiting on him. All the other violations for this property I took care of, except for the roof.
And when was this originally brought?
This was back on December the 18th, 2025, Your Magistrate.
Mr. Morera, you're recommending a maximum fine of $50,000. You want to tell me why?
We base it on the property value, sir, Your Magistrate.
Yeah, but other ones you recommend $10,000.
Well, this one is off the beach, so the value is higher because of the location, Your Magistrate. It's by the beach, so you know how that works.
Magistrate, the value is at $1 million for the property, so it's well below what we usually would
Really?
do on a percentage base. Yes.
You wouldn't know that looking at the property.
No, you would not.
Location, Your Magistrate.
It's the land, yeah. It's the land. Okay, thank you. In reference to case number 2512-116351, I, as special magistrate, make the following determination. After hearing the facts in this case, the testimony, and the report of staff that the violation still exists, and having considered the gravity of the violation, the actions, if any, taken by the violator to correct the violation, and any previous violations, I make the following determination. Just one other question. This property is being rented out, so there's people living in there with a bad roof. Okay. I make the following determination. A fine of $250 per day shall be imposed, as recommended by staff, for each day the violation exists, starting March 7th, 2026, with a maximum fine, as recommended by staff, of $50,000. Thank you.
Thank you.
Case number 2512-116403. Location of violation, 5603 South Indian River Drive, Fort Pierce. Property owner is Brenda A. LaGrange. Is there anybody here? I see nobody from the property owner. The investigating officer is Mr. Alves.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Please tell us what's going on with this case.
Okay. For the record, I am resubmitting a total of 6 photos dated 12/23/2025. I am also submitting a total of 7 new photos dated 3/30/2026. 5603 South Indian River Drive was found in violation of 3.01.03 storage of pod containers. They are not authorized and were asked to be removed. Number 2, 38-26, abandoned property, junk, trash, and debris. Outside storage of items and materials are not permitted. Please remove items such as appliances, construction debris, and other miscellaneous items from the property. A notice of violation was issued on 12/29/2025. After receiving no compliance, a notice to appear was issued on 1/13/2026 for the 02/04/2026 code enforcement hearing. At the 02/04/2026 code enforcement hearing, a representative was present to represent the property, and the special magistrate found the property in violation and gave a compliance date of 3/15/2026, or a $250 daily fine would be imposed. I have had contact with the property representative. As of 3/30/2026, the property remains in violation.
You have had contact.
That is correct.
So what are they telling you?
Well, I spoke to the owner yesterday, and I've been in contact with her son. Her son was the one that was here originally. He said he was going to take care of it, and as you see, it hadn't happened. As of yesterday, I received numerous phone calls from a realtor, an escrow agent. The property is in escrow, apparently, and is supposed to close next week.
You're recommending a maximum fine of $50,000,
That is correct.
and why?
It's a percentage of the property value. That's on Indian River Drive. It's right across the street from the ocean, or from the Indian River. Those properties are going for a lot of money.
Do you know what it's being sold for?
I don't.
The listing was just over $800,000.
It was.
Yes.
Thank you, Ms. Scott. All right, and they're not here to speak. In reference to case number 2512-116403, I, as special magistrate, make the following determination. After hearing the facts in this case, the testimony, and the report of staff that the violation still exists, and having considered the gravity of the violation, the actions, if any, taken by the violator to correct the violation, and any previous violations, I make the following determination. A fine of $250 per day, as recommended by staff, shall be imposed for each day the violation exists, starting March 16th, 2026, with a maximum fine, as recommended, not to exceed $50,000. Case number 2601-116436. Location of violation, vacant lot across from 3601 Avenue S in Fort Pierce. The property owner is Juan Carlos Vasquez Canto. Anybody here for this case? They're based out of Miami. All right, seeing no one, we'll hear from the investigating officer, Mr. Guevara.
Morning, Mr. Krieger. For the record, I am resubmitting one photo dated January 12th, 2026, and submitting one new photo dated March 30th, 2026. The vacant lot across from 3601 Avenue S was found in violation of Section 3826, an outside storage of vegetation debris. A notice of violation letter was issued January 7th, 2026, and after receiving no compliance, a notice to appear letter was issued on January 13th, 2026, for the Code Board hearing of February 4th, 2026. At the February 4th, 2026 Code Enforcement hearing, the property was found in violation by default and given until March 6th, 2026 to comply, or a daily fine would be imposed. As of March 30th, 2026, the property remains in violation, and we've had no contact with the property owner.
Thank you, sir. In reference to case number 2601-116436, I, as special magistrate, make the following determination. After hearing the facts in this case, the testimony, and the report of staff that the violation still exists, and having considered the gravity of the violation, the actions, if any, taken by the violator to correct the violation, and any previous violations, I make the following determination. Fine of $250 per day, as recommended by staff, shall be imposed for each day the violation exists, starting March 7th, 2026, with a maximum fine not to exceed $10,000. And that concludes our fine hearings for this morning. Excuse me. We'll move on to the violation hearings. This section of our agenda is basically your case, your opportunity to contest the alleged charges. We'll hear from the prosecuting officer first, and then you'll have an opportunity to respond and question any witnesses if you'd like, or state your case. We have companion cases 1 and 2. Case number 2509-115-775. Location of violation 7240 South US Highway 1 in Port St. Lucie. The property owner is BBT Holdings of Florida, LLC. And the companion case is case number 2509-115-776. Location of violation 7240 South US Highway 1 in Port St. Lucie. The tenant is Wade Watson. Yes, sir. Please state your name and your address.
Yep, Wade Watson, 7240 South US Highway 1, Port St. Lucie.
Thank you, Mr. Watson. Let the secretary swear you in.
Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Even though it's April Fool's Day, I'm still going to do it.
Okay, this case I originally continued in February, so we'll have to hear and see what's been going on since that time. The investigating officer is Brian Alves. Mr. Alves, what's going on?
For the record, I am resubmitting 3 photos dated 6/12/2025, one dated 10/13/2025, and I'm submitting 3 dated 3/30/2026. 7240 South US Highway 1 was found in violation of section 11.05.00, procedure for obtaining development permits. Please obtain a zoning compliance permit. Number 2, section 11.05.01, building and sign permits. Please obtain a permit for the fence. A notice of violation was issued on 8/24/2025. After receiving no compliance, a notice to appear letter was issued on 10/14/2025 for the code enforcement hearing of 12/3/2025. During that hearing, a special magistrate continued the case to the February 4th, 2026 hearing. After hearing testimony, and the special magistrate granted a second continuance to the April 1st, 2026 hearing. As of 3/30/2026, the property remains in violation. I have had contact with the property owner.
Yes, and that Mr. Watson is here today.
That is correct.
And Mr. Watson, I know you're running a pizza establishment there. What's going on? Why can't we get this done?
So the last thing that was open, everything was abated when it went to the fence. It was when we got the original license for the building. This is going back a year and a half ago. It was name change only was the process that was used from Papa Louie's to our restaurant. After all the fence thing went on, everything else was abated. They said, okay, just reapply for the license to get the patio seating added to it. We did. And then I think building rejected the license or put a hold on it because of that piece of, I'm not going to say it's a fence because it doesn't actually put a barrier up. We left that piece there to stop when kids are eating outside from putting forks and pizza inside the condensing units that are behind it. So it's like, it's 2 feet, those posts don't go into the ground. It's actually mounted to a concrete slab that was already existing. So that's the last thing, that it's only about the license right now. It's not anything about, I think, the permit for the fence. My understanding.
That section of fencing still does require a permit.
It's on a concrete slab?
Yes.
Okay. So I think that was the part that, when I talked to Brian about it, he said if it's just mounted on those 4x4 postings on concrete, you don't have to have.
That's not correct. That's not what I said.
Oh, okay.
The fence has always been needed a permit or be removed. We've gone back and forth on this several times. The only thing that was mentioned was those 4 posts that the building official said that he wasn't concerned about at the time. So this was just about the fence, not the 4 posts. And that's the conversation that you're referring to.
Okay.
Why not get a permit?
So this is, we dealt with the barrier on the outside. To get a permit for this thing, and my understanding was that it opens up, like, do we have enough parking? Do we have enough bathroom capacity? All these other things. And it was like, I'm not going to go through all that just to have, this one little piece of fence up there.
So you're talking about, well, wait a minute, like, if you're talking about, the fence is what's blocking the
HVAC, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just doing that. And the posts all the way around aren't blocking anything.
No, they're just for.
Originally, there was a fence that enclosed the entire patio seating area. But in order to have that, they had to do a site plan modification, which opened up a whole separate process. So the fence was removed, and it was asked of me about the posts that were remaining there. I had no issues with the post, but the fencing that was still up needed a permit. I'm not 100% sure if that small amount of fencing right there, just barricading the equipment, has anything to do with their site plan modification. I'll defer to Sandra on that. But that's where we're at in the process, generally speaking.
Business Navigator, please
Good morning.
enlighten us this morning.
Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do, thank you. Excuse me, let me scoot a little closer here. Yes, that is correct. There was discussion when the patio was entirely enclosed by the fence. There was a concern that the increased coverage of the space of the property, as well as the increased capacity of the restaurant itself, would trigger requirements for additional parking, as well as some site plan adjustments. When we talked about removing the enclosing portion of the fence, not this piece that I think we would call a screen. Then the Public Works Department and the Planning Department reviewed, said, nope, there's no need for the site plan adjustment if you're going to remove the enclosing fence. So at this point, from a planning perspective, planning is okay with this the way it is. Public Works is okay with it as it is. There's sufficient parking. There's no need for a site plan adjustment. All we need at this point is the zoning compliance. In order to get that zoning compliance, they're going to need a fire inspection. In order to get the fire inspection, they need the building department approval. Building needs to see this piece of screening either removed or permitted before they can sign off. So it's sort of an arm bone connected to the elbow bone situation.
Let me ask you this. What about removing what's left of that fence?
That would be acceptable to us. MJ, I believe you would require a demolition permit for that removal?
Not for a small section of fencing like that. They would just have to remove the fencing.
Well, and just thinking out loud, because you really have it there for aesthetic purposes, what about, would it be a problem if you used took that down and put like a canvas, temporary, how they cover some of these restaurants now with like canvas or whatever they call it, where the sun can kind of
A sail shade or something like that?
Yeah. What about doing something like that, just to cover up that area? Because I understand why he doesn't want anybody to see there, wants to sit next to that.
From a planning perspective, we would not have a problem with that. Again, I always defer to MJ.
MJ?
No, it's just a little sail shade. That would be fine.
What do you think about that?
Well, if it's sail shade's okay, why not the wood?
Because the wood's a structure.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a structure. The other thing is, under our definitions,
All right.
not a
Yeah,
structure.
that's fine. That's fine.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You could do something that would look nice and
We'll take care of it. We'll take it down.
they can, you could put, I'm not a planner, but I think I could figure something out there
Yeah,
to look pretty
we'll
good.
take care of it.
You make it look good, just cover that area up. That's
Yeah.
what you really want to do.
And we don't want the kids sticking their fingers or stuff inside there's 2 condensing units out
Oh,
there.
I get it. I get it. Well, if that solves the problem,
From a planning perspective, we would have no problem with that, something that's installed with a clip that can be popped down when needed.
yeah. So if there's a hurricane warning, for instance, you could just pop
Just
it off.
unhook it. Yeah, the sail shades are easy. Yeah. Yeah, we have those at the other restaurant.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, how long do you think it'll take to just take that down and put up the sail? Well, all you have to do is take it down
honestly,
and then
within a couple weeks. It's not
within a
hard.
couple of weeks,
Yeah.
we'll get that done?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would think so. And that'll solve everything for code enforcement. We have no problem, right?
Yes.
Mr. Alves?
I don't have a problem.
Okay. I'm inclined to give you 60 days. All right.
Good.
All right, I have to read in some motions, some findings. Let's start with, in reference to case number 2509-115-775. I, as special magistrate, make the following determination. After hearing the facts in this case, the testimony, and the recommendation of staff with regard to the existence of a violation, I, as special magistrate, determined that the violation in fact did occur and the alleged violator committed the violation. An order of enforcement is warranted. If the order of enforcement is not complied with by June 1st, 2026, a fine of up to $250 per day may be imposed. Please take notice that on the first Wednesday of the month, after the date given for compliance, at 9 a.m. or soon thereafter as may be heard, a fine hearing will be held if the violation is not abated by the given compliance date. And we have to read in the second one as well. Are you affiliated with BB&T Holdings?
The landlord, that's the landlord.
That, I know that is
Or
the
tenant,
landlord,
yeah.
but, so you're just paying rent over there? Okay. In reference to case number 2509-115-776, I, as special magistrate, make the following determination. After hearing the facts in this case, the testimony, and the recommendation of staff with regard to the existence of a violation, I determine the violation in fact did occur and the alleged violator committed the violation. An order of enforcement is warranted. If the order of enforcement is not complied with by June 1st, 2026, a fine of up to $250 per day may be imposed. Please take notice that on the first Wednesday of the month after the date given for compliance, at 9 a.m. or soon thereafter as may be heard, a fine hearing will be held if the violation is not abated by the given compliance date. All right, sir.
Great.
Yeah, 60 days to take care of it.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
All right, take care. Good luck to you. Case number 2506-115-257. Location of violation 12101 Orange Avenue in Fort Pierce. The property owner is Palmetto Yacht Management, LLC, out of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Is the property owner here? Is there anybody representing the company? I see somebody approaching. Good morning, sir. Please identify
Morning, Your
yourself.
Mike McCarty with McCarty and Associates Land Planning and Design. Good morning.
Your address, please, Mr. McCarty?
Yes, sir. 309 Southeast Osceola Street, Stuart, Florida.
Very good. Please be sworn in.
Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
All right. Mr. McCarty, we'll hear from the investigating officer, Paula Guy, and then you can fill us in on what's been going on. We continued this case in November, so I want to hear what's going on. Go ahead.
Thank you. Good morning. June 20th, 2025, a citizen complaint was received regarding the property being used for semi-truck services and concerns with issues regarding their roadways. The case was heard on November 5th, 2025, with owner representative Mr. McCarty present. The special magistrate continuance granted until today's hearing of April 1st, 2026. For the record, all the photos that are submitted are a true and accurate representation of observations that were made on site. 12101 Orange Avenue was found in violation of section 11.05.00, required business permit for the business activity on site, and 42-103, the business tax receipt license is required. There's been no application submitted for the required permits as of today's date, and I have had communication with the business property owner on site, Chris Hanna, and of course, Mr. McCarty, and they've been working on some other requirements for zoning in regards to the business activity. That Sandra Lanise is here, that she can update you on the detailed specifics of the delay of them obtaining these permits.
Thank you, Ms. Guy.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Good morning. I just wanted to add to Paula's testimony that the preliminary applications that are needed before zoning compliance have been submitted as of yesterday afternoon. That is a land development text amendment, a conditional use permit application, and a site plan application. We anticipate that they will be distributed today or tomorrow, but this week definitely.
Mr. McCarty. Anything to add?
Sure. I'll add a little context to that. So the last time we were before you, we committed to moving forward to cure these issues. Obviously, there's a number of steps that have to be accomplished before we can get those licenses. As staff indicated, we're required to amend the land development regulations of St. Lucie County. That application has been filed, as well as a conditional use application, and that has been filed as well, along with the site plan application. The site plan application requires surveys, engineering plans, civil drainage, stormwater, etc., along with landscape plans and geotechnical analysis. So it took some time to coordinate those efforts, bring that application to a satisfactory status for submittal. Obviously, it's a lot of time and money spent to get to that, and I'd respectfully request another 6 months, if I may. We're in the process, and I would anticipate 6 months hopefully will satisfy those requirements. Staff have anything to add to that, but that's basically where we stand. I need additional time to go through the process, sir. Thank you.
Ms. Guy, any objection to a 6 month?
No, the county doesn't object. It is a lengthy process, as long as the communication and good faith effort is documented, which they have been. I can always reach out and they check in with me monthly.
All right, in light of the testimony, good faith effort is being made to rectify the situation.
Thank you.
I will continue this case to our code enforcement hearing on November 4th, 2026.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Case number 2512-116282. Location of violation is 5095 Amy Lane in Fort Pierce. The property owner is Christopher C. McPeak. Yes, sir. Please identify yourself and your address.
Christopher McPeak, 5095 Amy Lane, Fort Pierce, Florida.
Thank you, sir. Please be sworn in.
Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Mr. McPeak, we'll hear from Mr. Morero, the investigating officer, and then you can fill us in on what you've been doing, because this case was continued in February. All right, Mr. Morero.
For the record, I am resubmitting 5 photos dated December the 4th, 2025, 3 photos dated December the 30th, 2025, 3 photos dated January the 26th, 2026, 2 photos dated February the 2nd, 2026, 1 aerial picture from the property appraiser website, and I'm submitting 3 photos dated March 30, 2026. During my first inspection, I found the property located at 5095 Amy Lane to be in violation of Section 13.09.00, Exterior Property Maintenance Code, Section 302.7, Accessory Structures. Please remove the plywood from the screen enclosure. Section 13.09.00, Exterior Property Maintenance Code, 303.2, Protected Treatment. Please repair the screen on the mobile home or remove. Section 38-26, abandoned property, junk, trash, and debris outside storage. Section 13.08.01, standard housing code. Section 304.13.1, glazing Material should be maintained free from cracks and holes. Please repair the broken window and sliding door. Section 13.09.00, Exterior Property Maintenance Code, Section 604.3, Electrical System Hazard. Please replace the missing cover to the electrical outlet. At the February 4, 2026 Code Board hearing, the owner was present and the special magistrate made the decision to continue the case to the April 1st, 2026 Code Board meeting. I have made contact with the owner. Permit BLDR 2602-010658. Permit was submitted February the 2nd, 2026, and is currently in review. As of March 30, 2026, the property remains in violation.
Thank you, Mr. Morera. Mr. McPeak, anything to add?
Yes. I have all the hurricane impact windows for it already, so I was trying to put those in, but I guess it's the modular home. I have to get an engineer, and I'm waiting to hear back from him so I can put those in. But if I don't hear back from him, I guess I could buy the windows from the modular home place, and then I don't need a permit to put them in. And I already got the side skirting for the bottom, and I forgot about the electrical cover. That's easy fix. I can do that today.
Mr. Jernigan, he said he applied for a permit, and there were comments, right?
Yeah, I had to get an engineer to look at it to make it was structurally sound to put the hurricane
Correct.
impact windows in it.
When you work on a mobile home, if you're replacing the materials like for like, then there's no permit required. It's considered ordinary repair and maintenance. But once you alter it or you put any heavier materials on there, then engineering and blueprints are required.
So what are we looking at as far as getting this all taken care of?
I'm just waiting to hear back from the engineer. And if I don't hear back from him, I guess I'll just spend the money and get the windows from the place so I can just put them in without the permit.
Well, how long have you been waiting to hear from the engineer?
2 weeks.
Who's the engineer?
Travis. Hold on 1 second. Travis Menke, M-E-N-K-E.
Have you retained his services?
I gave him everything he wanted. I'm still just waiting to hear a price back. He said he was busy, so
I mean, you gave him a retainer?
I did not. It's a friend of my friend. It's a friend of a friend who was going to do it. I'm trying to save as much money as I can.
I understand.
So if I don't hear back from him in the next week, I'm just going to buy the windows, bite it, and just replace them with what was there.
Yeah, do what you gotta do.
Your Magistrate, the reason we moved forward is because I was not able to make contact with Mr. McPeak originally. So that's why but once he was able to reach out to me, he was willing to work with us. So we don't have a problem giving him more time to make this work.
How much?
We can bring him back in 60 days if that's okay with you, to see if he was able to get the violations corrected, hopefully.
That's plenty enough time.
Well, I could find you in violation because we did continue this one time, but we can stretch it out before giving him a date of compliance of at least 60 days.
That sounds good, Your Magistrate.
Understand?
Yep.
So if you take care of it, you won't be fined.
Okay.
But if you do, then you'll have to come back for a fine hearing.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. In reference to case number 2512-116-282. I, as special magistrate, make the following determination. After hearing the facts in this case, the testimony, and the recommendation of staff with regard to the existence of a violation, I determine the violation in fact did occur and the alleged violator committed the violation. An order of enforcement is warranted. If the order of enforcement is not complied with by June 1st, 2026, a fine of up to $250 per day may be imposed. A cost of $200, though, is being imposed as a cost for prosecuting this case. Please take notice that on the first Wednesday of the month, after the date given for compliance, at 9 a.m. or soon thereafter as may be heard, a fine hearing will be held if the violation is not abated by the given compliance date. All right?
Yep.
So you got to June 1st. If you
Okay.
take care of it, no
Yep.
problem. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Case number 2601, 116418. Location of violation 218 Southeast Camino Street in Port St. Lucie. Property owner Marilyn and Daniel Wozniewski. Yes, sir.
I'll be right there.
Take your time. No problem.
Hello.
Good morning. Please identify yourself with your address and be sworn in again.
Daniel Wozniewski, 218 Southeast Camino Street, Port St. Lucie.
You affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes.
Okay, I recall this case. We continued it from last month. Let's hear from staff first. The investigating officer is Mr. Guevara.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Krieger. For the record, I am resubmitting 2 photos dated September 29th, 2025, 3 dated March 10th, 2026, that were taken by Mr. Jim O'Connor from St. Lucie County Water Quality Division. And I am also submitting 1 new photo dated March 30th of 2026. Mr. Jim O'Connor also has some photos to be submitted to staff. 2018 Southeast Camino Street was found in violation of section 7.07.00, failed culvert pipe. A notice of violation letter was issued on January 5th, 2026. And after receiving no compliance, a notice to appear letter was issued on January 21st, 2026 for the code board hearing of March 4th, 2026. At the March 4th, 2026 code enforcement hearing, the case was continued to today's hearing. As of today's date, April 1st, 2026, the property remains in violation. We've been in contact with property owner, and he's here to speak to the special magistrate.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Is it Dr. Wozniewski?
Yes, it is.
Okay, doctor. Please, I recall this. You were going to basically
Yes, we had
show them
the
why
ditch.
it didn't need to be replaced, the culvert, right?
We hand dug the ditch. I didn't. I can barely walk. But if you back up to the other photograph that shows the water. There. Oh, past
That one?
it. There. You see the water is all the way through the culvert.
That's from September 29th. The most recent one, if you can move, Paula, that one is from March 10th.
When we dug the ditch, which the county refused to participate in clearing the ditch, water flowed. We've had some heavy rain since. We cleared the ditch on both sides as the problem was visually available in the photographs. And when we dug the ditch, the water flowed.
Recently? I mean, did you do it since our last meeting?
Yes.
Do you have the pictures? Did you take any pictures? I need to see evidence.
Well, that picture shows.
Okay, there.
Let me turn around to the other picture. See, that one shows that we've dug the ditch.
I see that. I see no water there either.
No, we got some water coming.
One was taken March 30th, so that was just the other day, 2 days ago. Has staff looked at that since you dug it out?
Well, they took a picture of it.
They're the ones that took it,
Yeah, that photo shows that where we've dug the ditch out.
Yeah. What about the other side?
We dug that out also.
Do you have a picture of that?
No, there's not a picture of that. We do have photos that were taken of the interior of the culvert by the Water Quality Division.
Yeah. On March 10th. You see that, Doctor, where they took pictures since our last meeting into the culvert, and it looks like
they took
what
that
is all that?
photo
All bunch of
before I was
silt
here.
or water, or what is that?
That's dirt.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Good morning. Jim O'Connor, Stormwater Inspector, Water Quality Division. That right there is sediment that is intruding into the pipe because the pipe has rusted away to a failed state on both the east side of the driveway as well as the west side of the pipe. The reason that the doctor had to dig out the ditch was the county did come in there and do swale maintenance in 2025 fiscal year for the county. However, his failed pipe was pushing sediment out, which then made it basically problematic for the water to flow up over that sediment into the outfall as designed. Now, I do understand that the doctor did dig out the ditch. I actually was out in that area. I was out of town the last meeting. I apologize. I have since been out. Yes, he did dig the ditch. However, that is basically a Band-Aid because the minute we start getting more rains, more sediment will wash in and then again make it more difficult and you'd be right back to square one. The main way to solve this problem is to replace that failed and rusted pipe.
Yeah. Doctor, that's pretty convincing, that picture right there.
Well, unfortunately, that's the one that shows the dirt. The dirt's not there. Show the one with the water.
So
this is in the pipe.
I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
That dirt, you could have dug it out, which is all well and good, and we appreciate that, trying to basically stop the impediment of drainage. However, it is going to continue because of those two gaping holes in your pipe. The end result is going to be the same. Once you start getting rain, the dirt will take the path of least resistance, gravity will take effect, it will pull into the pipe, therefore impeding drainage going southbound to the outfall pipe as designed.
Well, that's a very damning picture you're showing, but show the one with the water all the way across.
The one with water, again, is from September, so it's earlier.
Yeah.
This is the most recent one. So, again, the one with the water's from September, which was earlier.
And if you wanted to go back to the picture of the water from September, can we go back to that real quick? What you'll see is the water trying to flow under. However, when it gets to the other side, because of all the sediment that is pushed out from under your failed pipe, it is now fighting to climb over. The ideal goal here, if your pipe was in good functioning ability, you wouldn't have this water buildup. The water would continue to flow as designed.
Water would never flow with the accumulation of soil ahead of that.
Correct,
drain.
and that accumulation of soil is coming from your pipe.
That's coming from all the neighbors on the street.
I would strongly disagree, sir, but we can
Well, I
agree to
strongly
disagree.
disagree with you.
But we get back to the same, we could go around in circles, the end result is still the same. Your pipe is in a completely failed state and needs to be replaced because it will continue to impede drainage.
And at what date will it impede?
I don't have a
How
crystal
far in
ball,
the
sir.
future do I have to go?
I don't have a crystal ball, sir. All I can tell you
Neither
is
do
that
I.
pipe is in a failed state. It would need to be replaced. You have reached out to contractors to obtain quotes because they have reached out to me to confirm that pipe was failed.
Yeah, you're talking to all the neighbors.
I did have to talk to the neighbors because I wrote up all the failed pipes in that area. That's my job, sir. And when the community reaches out and has a question, it's my responsibility to answer those questions to the best of my ability.
Well, you're talking to the neighbors, you're talking to the neighbors' wives. Yeah, I think.
Well, let's back up because if we're going to make accusations, the neighbors' wives have contacted my main office contact number to obtain information regarding how to resolve a failed culvert.
Okay. Doctor, do you have any other pictures that show, outside of the one where you dug it out just recently? Anything, do you have a picture that shows me a clear culvert all the way through? I can only go with the evidence that's being presented to me today.
I understand your situation, sir.
And right now, the county is making a convincing argument with the evidence they presented. We'll give you a little time. Do you have another picture?
Well, I have a picture, but I don't know how to get it to you.
Well, there's a way to do that.
Do it to legal first.
Yes, oh, absolutely.
Don't go too far in my photos.
Oh, I promise
You'll
I
be
won't.
very embarrassed.
Oh, good. Okay, I'll be right back.
That's sunlight on the other side.
Yeah, are you able to send us a photo so we can submit it for the case?
Send it how,
Are you
dear?
able to send this photo to us? Can you email it or text?
I think we can email it.
Okay, let me show this to them.
When did you take this picture, Doctor? How long ago?
2 weeks. It
2
was-
weeks? There does appear to be sediment in there.
There's still sediment in. We're waiting for more rain to wash through. But that's daylight at the other end of that culvert.
There's a little dot there.
That's sunlight.
Doesn't look very big, though. I mean, just to my eye. I'm not an expert. I'm just looking at what you're showing me. The thing is, what the county would say, well, you know, you got the sediment in there. What's going to happen is when it rains, because of the failed culvert, it's just going to fill in the swale more. Thank you. Corrected? Have you
Yes.
seen this, sir?
Yes, sir. I've been out there numerous times. It is starting to undermine by the apron of his driveway as well, which again is because of the failed culvert sucking the dirt down through the path of least resistance and getting stuck in the pipe. Now, don't get me wrong, the doctors made a good faith effort trying to remove the dirt from the pipe, and we appreciate that. However, the end result is going to continue to be the same. You can clear the dirt from both inlets, the inlet and the outlet. However, in the middle is going to be the problem, because the next step is this pipe will continue to erode, and we've unfortunately had this issue before, where it could put the driveway's integrity in jeopardy. And we don't want that. We've spent an abundance of taxpayer dollars to perform swale maintenance in the area. Unfortunately, the doctors is in a completely failed state. Yes, you could see a line of sight through it, which is all well and good. However, the integrity of the pipe is no longer present. And that's going to continue to cause a problem. It's going to continue to cause buildup. It's going to cost the doctor time, money to continue to try to shovel it out. And unfortunately, it's going to be very difficult to get a shovel all the way through there. It's not going to happen. So unfortunately, this will continue to be a domino effect until that pipe is replaced.
Can you give me other contractors that I could communicate with?
Absolutely, yes, sir. I'd be more than happy to help you with that. I could send you a list of contractors that are familiar with the Culvert Assistance Program, if that's one route you'd like to take. Or I could just send you a list of contractors that are familiar with the program, and you could either do it privately out of pocket or on the Culvert Assistance Program. I do have your contact information. I'll be happy to send that over to you today.
Send it, please.
Yes, sir. I'll do it as soon as I vacate the meeting.
How much time would you need, Doctor, to hire somebody and get this done?
Well, unfortunately, my neighbor is a contractor, and he sent me an offer, and then between the phone conversation and receiving his quote, it went up $900. So I'm afraid that I'm going to have to communicate with others to get a better estimate. 'Cause
We're
I can't
talking
aff-
about getting
I can't
this
afford
repaired
it.
or getting a permit to get this repaired?
So if the doctor was to apply for a permit today, it would go to our drainage maintenance supervisor, Brian Brown, who would go out, conduct the field work. Once the permit is applied for, Brian has an impressive turnaround time of 24 to 48 hours where he's out conducting the field work. He puts the numbers together, the calculations. It's then sent over to our engineering division for final approval. So the process, if he started today, to have the permit back and approved, will be approximately 3 weeks.
Okay, Doctor, I'll give you a little bit of time to get this done, to get the permit approved, and that, I'm thinking in terms of 60 days. We're not in the rainy season yet, so.
Within 60 days, he should be able to have the permit issued as well as the work completed, pre-pour inspection and final inspections completed.
That sounds reasonable.
Well, I'm still not happy, but I understand your situation.
Thank you, sir.
And how do I start the permit process?
Yep.
You would go on the county's website and apply for the permit. You would apply for what's called a DWR, driveway replacement permit, the fee of $155. Once you submit for that permit, all that information will be sent over via email to Brian Brown. Brian will begin the process of conducting the field work and getting the calculations ready for engineering to give the final approval. First step today would be go on the county's website, go to the permitting page, and apply for a DWR permit would be your first step today.
DWR.
Yes, sir. Delta Whiskey Romeo.
Don't do that to me.
I have never spoken to him. He's lying.
All right. In reference to case number 2601-116-418, I, as special magistrate, make the following determination. After hearing the facts in this case, the testimony, and the recommendation of staff with regard to the existence of a violation, I determine the violation in fact did occur and the alleged violator committed the violation. An order of enforcement is warranted. If the order of enforcement is not complied with by June 1st, 2026, a fine of up to $250 per day may be imposed. A cost of $200 has been imposed as the cost for prosecuting this case. Please take notice that on the first Wednesday of the month, after the date given for compliance at 9 a.m. or soon thereafter as may be heard, a fine hearing will be held if the violation is not abated by the given compliance date. All right, Doctor, June 1st, you heard where you have to go on the website. You can get it done.
Well, it's not that. I just paid the county. I just gave the county $7,000 yesterday in taxes, property taxes. It's going to cost me another $7,000 and some dollars to do that. I'm going to move as soon as I can. I can't afford to live in this county. Not your fault. I understand that.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Just to touch base on that, our county actually has what's called the Culvert Assistance Program, which we're one of the few areas in the surrounding jurisdictions that offer that for people that don't have those kind of funds to lay out of pocket right away, because it is quite an expense.
Yeah.
Basically, it would cost the doctor nothing out of pocket. He would have to do the legwork, which he already has started with getting a quote. He needs a minimum of 2 quotes. He would submit those quotes to Barbara Getler, the MSBU coordinator, and Barbara does the financial breakdown. It would go on your taxes over the next 10 years at a fixed interest rate of 2.5% with no early payoff penalty. So if the doctor, maybe he gets lucky and hits a scratch off, I'm not one of those lucky people, he could contact Barbara Getler and say, okay, I'd like to pay it off. There is no early payoff penalty, and it is beneficial for the people that don't have those means available immediately.
2.5% interest.
Yes, sir. Fixed interest rate of 2.5%.
It's not bad.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Doctor. Good luck to you.
I already called your office, Carol.
Oh, I've got about 4 days of callbacks.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you. Case number code 2601-116503, location of violation 8501 Champions Way in Port St. Lucie. The property owner is Ultra Hospitality Group LLC, an Ultra Hospitality Group LLC out of Ocala, According to staff, this has been removed for compliance efforts. Case number 2602-116-724. Location of violation, 8501 Champions Way, Port St. Lucie, Florida. Property owner is Ultra Hospitality Group, LLC. And this is out of Ocala. And this case also has been removed for compliance efforts. Are you here for the next case?
Yes, sir.
Case number code 2509-115-882, location of violation 9801 Nettles Boulevard in Jensen Beach. The property owner is Outdoor Resorts at Nettles Island Incorporated. Sir, please state your name, your address, and be sworn in.
Willie Torres. I'm at 533 Nettles Boulevard.
Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
You're at 553.
I live on 533 Nettles. That's actually the HOA address for the clubhouse.
Oh, okay. All right. The investigating officer is Brian Alves. Mr. Alves.
For the record, I am submitting 7 photos dated 10/2/2025 and one dated 3/30/2026. 9801 Nettles Boulevard was found in violation of section 11.05.01, building and sign permit. Please obtain a permit for the wall enclosing the kitchen area. A notice of violation letter was issued on 10/2/2025. After receiving no compliance, a notice to appear letter was issued on 1/28/2026 for the code enforcement hearing of 4/1/2026. As of 3/30/2026, the property remains in violation. I have had contact with the property manager for Nettles Island.
All right, sir.
So we received the line safety diagram. There was actually never one
Are
submitted.
you the property manager?
No, sir. I'm actually the general contractor.
Okay.
We actually have the layout, and I spoke to Mr. Michael back in January when we requested to go get it done. They got it back to me ASAP. I dropped the ball. Never seen the email for the line diagram come through. I did, however, have that uploaded and submitted yesterday. It shows in review now for completion on the 7th of April.
Yes, sir, Mr. Jernigan.
That is correct. He has submitted something as of yesterday, and the due dates are set for April 7th, pending a building review, mechanical review, and a fire review. On their first review, they were approved through zoning and plumbing.
So how long do you think it'll take to go through it all? The permit application, right?
Assuming that they addressed everything that was asked for, it gets reviewed by the 7th. Notification gets sent out usually within a day or two for the fees due, and then once those fees are due, the permit would be issued.
Hopefully to have permit issued by like the 15th, maybe.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
15th of April?
Yes, sir. They're usually pretty quick about returning back. It's
Yeah.
usually me that's slow submitting it.
Okay. I'll give you a little more time than that.
And I do believe that the only correction, and I do love the new comment box that we can put for the resubmittals, which is great, but I think it was just for the line safety diagram is what we needed, because there was never one for that area at all on record.
Correct.
Okay, I'm looking at May 15th as a date. That work for you?
Thank you.
Okay. In reference to case number 2509-115-882, I, as special magistrate, make the following determination. After hearing the facts in this case, the testimony, and the recommendation of staff with regard to the existence of a violation, I determine the violation in fact did occur, and the alleged violator committed the violation. An order of enforcement is warranted. If the order of enforcement is not complied with by May 15th, 2026, a fine of up to $250 per day may be imposed. A cost of $200 has been imposed for prosecuting this case. Please take notice that on the first Wednesday of the month after the date given for compliance at 9 a.m. or soon thereafter, as may be heard, a fine hearing will be held if the violation is not abated by the given compliance date.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to take a brief recess till 10:30.
Thanks.
We will reconvene. Next case, Code 2512, 116340, location of violation 2113 Edwin Avenue in Fort Pierce. Property owner Scott Jacob and Mary Jacob. This case has been removed for compliance efforts. Case number Code 2602, 116604. Location of violation 8005 Santa Clara Boulevard in Fort Pierce. The property owner is the Nancy Hatter Trust Estate in Hendersonville, North Carolina. Anybody here for that case? Seeing no one, we'll move on. Case number code 2411-114199. Location of violation 2880 Johnston Road in Fort Pierce. Property owner is Joseph G. Miller and Doris Miller. This case has been resolved via stipulation. And I've reviewed the stipulation and approved the stipulation.
Thank you.
Case number code 2602-116568. Location of violation 11010 Ridge Avenue in Fort Pierce. Property owner is Kenneth P. Tompkinson. Sir, please provide your name and address and be sworn in.
I am Kenneth Tompkinson, 11010 Ridge Avenue, Fort Pierce, Virginia. I live in Florida. Sorry, I just moved.
Talk into the microphone though. Move it down.
Okay.
There we go.
You want me to do it again?
No, I think we got it.
Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Tompkinson, we'll hear from the investigating officer, Mr. Guevara, first, and then you'll have an opportunity to speak.
Thank you, Mr.
Guevara.
Krieger. Yes, sir. For the record, I am submitting 2 photos dated February 5th, 2026, 4 photos dated February 19th, 2026, and 4 dated March 30th, 2026. 11010 Ridge Avenue was found in violation of Section 3.01.03, parking and storing vehicles on a vacant parcel in a residential zoning. Section 3.01.03, and Section 3826, outside storage of junk, trash, and debris. A notice of violation letter was issued on February 5th, 2026. And after receiving no compliance, a notice to appear letter was issued on February 20th, 2026 for the Code Board hearing of April 1st, 2026. As of March 30th, 2026, the property remains in violation, and I've had no contact with the property owner, but he's here this morning to speak to you.
All right, Mr. Tompkinson.
Yes, sir. The truth of the matter is my wife and I are alcoholic. I have 5 years, and she went on a run and kicked me out. So I never got, this was the first thing I got on March 12th posted because,
But you understand what they're
Well,
what they're saying?
so when I got the post, and then I got the forwarded letter the next day, ironically on Friday the 13th, I started looking for a place, and I got everything removed, and I've moved.
You mean,
I think there's a couple concrete blocks still there that I gotta pick up.
You mean this picture
Well,
was
the
taken?
RV was there and the car was there on the 30th, which was Monday.
Yeah, so.
Yes, I've moved to Holiday Out Lot 473.
And you moved everything?
Everything except, like, I think there's 6 to 10 concrete blocks, you know, solid blocks up at the front.
So the RV and the cars are gone?
Yes, sir. Everything's gone.
Mr. Guevara can,
We will go by and check.
he'll check it out. And if it is, there'll be no problem. Let me ask you this, that black car, what year is that?
That's a 67 Pontiac Tempest with a brand new 400 from 79 Trans Am. Everything in it is GTO except the rear headlights. I've had it for about 25 years, a little over 25 years now.
Beautiful car.
Oh my God, yeah, I love that thing. But it took a little bit of time to find a place.
So you're keeping that?
Everything's in season.
So you keep that outside?
Well, you know, my plans changed, so at the moment, yes.
But you moved to where? Holiday Out?
Yeah, it's on Hutchinson Island.
Oh, yeah,
really
very
nice, man.
nice.
Real nice.
Very nice, yeah. And so you have the car, so you have the car and the RV there.
And my truck.
And your truck.
And my workout.
Got
I
a lot
had
of
a workout
vehicles.
area back there in the corner, everything's gone.
You came down from Virginia?
Yeah, about 5 years ago, I came down to get sober.
Yeah.
And it stuck. And
good.
I had a house up there, and I sold it. And
Congratulations.
bought that land.
Yeah.
You know, with some intentions.
You mean you bought that land where?
Yes, sir. I bought the land with the intention of building, you know, our retirement place.
You're right. But you still own the land, right?
Correct.
What are you gonna do with that?
Probably put it up.
Yeah. Well, anyway, nice car, nice vehicles. Yeah, you want to take care of all that. All right. Okay, so we're going to give you a little time. I'm going to find you in violation, but Mr. Guevara, go out there, and if he sees everything's gone, you don't have to come back, and there's nothing to worry about. Okay?
Roger.
Okay. And you didn't know about this till when? When did you finally know?
I got this on March 12th.
March 12th.
Everything else,
It
it
was-
went to my old address.
Yeah, it was certified to the Vero Beach address, but we didn't get the certified signature, so we posted it on the 12th.
Okay. And everything's gone. Very good, sir. All right. In reference to case number 2602-116-568.
Mr. Krieger, I would waive the fee.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it.
Okay, very good. Then I'll make the following determination. After hearing the facts in this case, the testimony, and the recommendation of staff with regard to existence of a violation, I determine the violation of fact did occur and the alleged violator committed the violation. An order of enforcement is warranted. If the order of enforcement is not complied with, I got to use a default date, wouldn't be fair any other way. Complied with by May 8th, 2026, a fine of up to $250 per day may be imposed. Please take notice that on the first Wednesday of the month after the date given for compliance, at 9 a.m. or soon thereafter, as may be heard, a fine hearing will be held if the violation is not abated by the given compliance date. So, okay, you've taken care of it. Technically, you got till May 8th, not to give you any ideas, but Mr. Guevara will go out there and check it out. If everything's done, you won't be seeing me anymore.
Roger that.
All right, good luck to you, my friend.
Cool. Thank you.
Easy.
And just for the record, the third violation, 3.0103J, was removed by staff prior to the hearing. Okay. Case number code 2512-116374. Location of violation is 5607 Cassia Drive in Fort Pierce. The property owner Calazuberto Gonclaves de Oliveras out of West Palm Beach. Hope I pronounced that properly. Is there anybody here for that case on Cassia Drive? I see no one, so we'll move on. Case number code 2601, 116437. Location of violation 3601 Avenue S in Fort Pierce. The property owner is James E. Hatfield, Affordable Housing of Florida, LLC. Ladies. Hi. You've been sworn in already. Just identify yourself again for the record.
Melissa Canales, property manager.
Deidre Kidwell, general manager.
Okay, thank you, ladies. Anyway, we'll hear from Paula Guy, the investigating officer, first.
Thank you. January 8th, 2026, a citizen complaint was received regarding the structure on the property being in disrepair. For the record, all the photos that are submitted are a true and accurate representation of observations on site. Section 13.09.00 for exterior property maintenance. 304.1.8, the roofing components must be in good repair, and it's a requirement for repair of deteriorated soffits. The notice of violation was issued on January 26, 2026, with a compliance date of February 9th, 2026. The notice to appear was delivered by posting to the property on February 24th, 2026. The January 2026 lot cleanup that was done by the county for the overgrowth of exotics. This cleanup provided a visual of the damaged soffits in response to the citizen complaint. Property was previously cited for roof repairs and fines were imposed in August of 2025. The components of the soffit repairs are not included in that previous code case. I've had no communication with the businesses or the property managers until today. And today, the property still remains in violation.
Thank you, Ms. Guy. Nobody's living in here, are they? It looks all boarded up.
Yeah, it's never been rented. When I spoke to Mo yesterday, Paula was in the office, and that's how I was made aware of this court hearing. I have estimates here for the roof and for the cleanup. I'm waiting on him.
Is this building?
And I didn't know, sorry about the notice either until yesterday, because I happened to call Mo regarding the motels.
Yeah. Is this building even worth rehabilitating? That's not for you to decide, right? Is that what
No, I mean, I have a estimate here for $6,900 for the roof, for the soffit, the fascia.
Do you have regular communications with Mr. Hatfield? I mean,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
I'm trying. It's just up
So
to him.
what does he say when you tell him that this is going to be taken care of?
That we have to work on it.
And what does he say?
That he has to work on it. I mean, he just has to approve this.
Yeah, right.
We're just waiting on his approval.
How long do you think it'll take to get the approval? You don't know?
We'll talk to him again as soon as we leave here.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you did show up for this. All right. Well, I'm going to find it in violation. If it gets taken care of, you get this thing, then there'll be no fine, you know. If not, then you'll have to come back like you did on the last case for a fine hearing. I'd like to not to have to do that.
Okay. I have another question.
Sure.
She's mailing these documents to the P.O. Box. I'm not receiving them from him. Is there a way to have them mailed to another address as well?
He's the property owner, so the notice physically goes to him.
Yeah.
If he's just not communicating with them when the notices come in, and we have to mail them
Right,
per
yeah,
legal
under the law, they
to
have to.
where the address on file with the property appraiser.
Can they be emailed as well, or no? That way, at least I'm just asking, I don't know.
I know.
I mean, it would be hard to declare because a lot of different officers cover that. I can't, tag the property that every time they get a notice that I have to send him an email.
Yeah, that's, yeah. You know, sometimes if there's an attorney, we normally send them notice to the attorney too.
If they're listed on Sunbiz, as a registered agent, that is something that we've started doing courtesy mailings to the registered agent on
Right,
file.
are any of you registered agents of the LLC or?
No, but
Nope.
I will certainly look into that. And see
Yeah,
if maybe-
and that wouldn't concur, because, like if I'm not here in 3 months for some reason, and the next person that comes in, they're not gonna know, oh, I'm supposed to send a mailing to them.
Right.
So, but if they get on that LLC with Sunbiz as a registered agent, they would get a courtesy
Yeah.
violation notice so that they're aware.
Go on Sunbiz and see about that. And,
Yes.
And maybe even tell Mr. Hatfield to get you on there.
Right.
As a registered
Yeah, and-
agent for service.
Correct.
So that you would be the official.
It would be helpful for them to be able to, know what's in front of them, because
Yeah.
they're not getting any notice.
No. Or if I go online, but he has so many properties that it's so hard.
How many properties does he have? Do you know?
About 150.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Okay.
That's not an April Fool's joke. For real.
I'm trying.
I know. I'm trying to. I got to follow the law.
Yeah, no, of course. We appreciate you.
Mr. Hatfield shouldn't let that go. He's lived in this county all his life. I mean, come on.
Yeah. I'm going to try again.
Try again.
Yes.
That's all you can do, right?
Yes,
But yeah,
sir.
check on that registered agent thing. That might work out then. You might get all the notifications.
Yeah, that'll help a lot.
You might say, if he's the registered agent, okay, you guys become the registered agent, but you can get it all.
Right.
I mean, that's a possibility,
That'll make life a little bit easier.
Yeah, and make it easier for him too.
Right.
So that he'll know right away that he has a violation to deal with.
Correct.
Okay, because...
Thank you.
All right. Okay, let's do this. In reference to case number 2601-116437, I, as special magistrate, make the following determination. After hearing the facts in this case, the testimony, and the recommendation of staff with regard to the existence of a violation, I determine the violation in fact did occur, and the alleged violator committed the violation. An order of enforcement is warranted. If the order of enforcement is not complied with by June 1st, 2026, a fine of up to $250 per day may be imposed. The cost of $200 has been imposed as a cost for prosecuting this case. Please take notice that on the first Wednesday of the month after the date given for compliance, at 9 a.m., or soon thereafter as may be heard, a fine hearing will be held if the violation is not abated by the given compliance date. Okay? June 1st.
Thank you. Like $250 a day. June 1st. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good luck to you, ladies. Case number code 2601-116555. Location of violation 411 North 37th Street in Fort Pierce. The property owner, Ada Cristalis in Fort Pierce. And the fourth section on the agenda, section 130801, has been abated. All right. Please identify yourselves and your address and be sworn in.
Ada Cristales.
Is the gentleman going to?
Noe Cristales.
Yeah, please. Okay, go ahead.
And your address.
Give them the help. 1210 South 33rd Street, Fort Pierce, Florida.
Raise your right hand. Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
I do.
Both of you have the same address?
I'm 411 North 37th Street.
Okay. You're 4th month. Okay, let's hear from the investigating officer, Peter Avino.
Good morning, Your Majesty. For the record, I'm submitting 4 photos dated 1/30/26 and 3 photos dated 3/30/26. 1 aerial photo from property appraisal. 411 North 37th Street was found in violation of the following sections: 130801, the roof in disrepair; 130900, mold and mildew; 3826, outside storage; and 3826, unserviceable vehicles on the property. A NOV letter was issued on 2/02/26. After receiving no compliance, NTA letter was issued 3/13/26 for the court board hearing of April 1st, 26. As of 3/30/26, the property remains in violations. I had contact with them, which they are here today.
Thank you. What do you have to say about these pictures?
Yes, we already started cleaning the house up. We got a permit.
Talk into the microphone, bring it down, sir. Just, we have to record everything. Okay, go
We
ahead.
started cleaning the whole yard up, and I got permits for the roof. Me and my mother got permits for the roofs. Just, they came in last week.
Did you, Mr. Jernigan, you got permits for the roof?
Also got a
Give me this.
demolition permit for the front porch and the rear porch.
Let Mr. Jernigan check, see if you're in the system. How long has that tarp been on that roof?
It's off now.
Yeah, it looks pretty beat up to
Yeah,
begin
it's off
with.
now. It's gonna be a brand new roof, man.
There was a demo permit that was issued for the front and rear porch, and there was a re-roof permit that was issued. There is still an alteration permit that is in review.
I guess it's null and void because me as a general contractor was gonna do it, but he told me to just have my mother do it so that, since I live there, pretty much, we don't have no conflicts or nothing like that. And I was gonna also need a subcontractor affidavit for a re-roofing contractor to do the roof, which I can't do the roof, so.
When were you originally cited on this? Mr. Avino?
I think it was back in
February 2nd.
Oh, just in February.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry to say it, but I never received that first citation in my mailbox.
Yeah, we never received it.
I did receive the second one and the one that was posted.
That was posted, yeah, that happens a lot, for whatever reason. So you are taking some action here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Looks different.
It looks different.
Mr. Avino, what do you have to say as far as these individuals are concerned, as far as the
I've seen
actions?
that they've moved some stuff out and cleared up somewhat.
Pulled and gone in for the permits?
Yeah.
So let's see what we got. Trash, junk, and debris, is there still some out there? Yeah.
There is, they moved it to the back of the house.
But that's not gonna work.
Very little bit. There's very little bit. Whatever's in that trailer has got to go. But if there's material in the back of the yard, it's because it belongs to the roof that's coming in.
Okay.
I have a quick question. For the windows, are you repairing the glazing in the windows, or are you guys gonna
What
be
windows? That's the problem. There is
No, it was abated. What it was, they had plywood on the windows and they took it off.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
good.
plywood. We did have plywood.
And we took those off, as you can see in that picture. They were boarded up.
Yeah, I see the windows. And then the mold mildew off the structure,
Yeah, we're gonna
pressure
clean
wash
all
it?
that, yeah.
That's not a big deal.
Real soon, I'm gonna have it just completely stuccoed.
And then the roof, you've put in for the permit.
It is issued. I don't have.
That was issued on the 26th of March.
Okay. And then you gotta get rid of are there any unserviceable vehicles still there?
There's 2 more I'm gonna get rid of.
Yeah, you gotta move that. So a lot of stuff you gotta do can be done fairly quickly.
Yeah. Just brand new vehicles. They're not. They do work. I just don't have tags on them.
Well, if you can demonstrate that they run
Yeah.
to the officer, you don't have to have a tag.
I believe you do.
No, you have to have a tag. The presumption is, and correct me if I'm wrong, the presumption is it's unserviceable if you don't have a tag. But if you can show the officer that it runs, you don't need the tag.
Well, see, that's.
I just
can't
want to
have no
let you
flat
know to
tires or
say
nothing.
Yeah, no,
You'd have to
I'll let
have
you get rid of it,
Mr. Avino come over there and start those babies up and move them.
Cool.
Show them that they run.
Okay.
Just letting you know, save you a
Yeah.
few bucks if you're
Sounds
not
good.
ready to put them on the road yet.
Sounds good.
Okay, well, I like the fact that you're moving on all this, and you were just cited in February. So, trying to think, we'll give you a continuance here maybe, and then report back. Mr. Avino, you can take a look at everything. They can start those cars up for you, move the rest of the junk out,
That's fine with me.
and then you can, if
I'm
it's
gonna-
abated, you can just abate it. If not, come back and see.
The last thing that'll be left is actually the roof, you know what I mean? Everything else, I'm really.
But as long as you've obtained the permit, that was
Yeah.
what you were cited for, right?
Yeah.
You gotta get the permit.
Yeah, those sections were removed, from my understanding.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the porch is going down completely because I'm gonna give her a brand new
Well,
overhaul.
Then what are we looking, so we would take that off here? The roof is not part of the violation
The
anymore?
storage and the unserviceable vehicles.
All right, so that's, the first one. And the well, 3826, right? That still goes.
And the mold and mildew too.
And the mold and mildew.
That's not.
Okay. Well, let's just get this, because then I have to write up the orders.
Understood.
I want to make sure that, all right, please remove mold and mildew and repair and service of vehicles. Well, I'll tell you what, I think that sounds good. We can find you, I'll give you some time, but we'll make a violation hearing, and as long as you do everything, you don't have to come back, okay?
All right.
They're both NCI. This wasn't even discussed. Everything else that comes on.
All right, I think I know what I want to do here. You're doing a good job. You're moving on this, and that's good. In reference to case number 2601-116-555, I, as special magistrate, make the following determination. After hearing the facts in this case, the testimony, and the recommendation of staff with regard to the existence of a violation, I determine the violation in fact did occur, and the alleged violator committed the violation. An order of enforcement is warranted. If the order of enforcement is not complied with by June 15th, 2026, a fine of up to $250 per day may be imposed. Please take notice that on the first Wednesday of the month after the date given for compliance at 9 a.m. or soon thereafter, as may be heard, a fine hearing will be held if the violation is not abated by the given compliance date. All right?
Yeah. thank you.
Get that all taken care of. You don't have to
Both
see
days,
me
that's the
anymore.
only thing. My both days.
You have them back here.
All right.
That's good.
You're good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate something. Yeah, you too.
Okay, I think there's a couple of no-shows. I'll read those into the record, and we'll sound the halls. Case number code 2602-116-604, location of violation, 8005 Santa Clara Boulevard in Fort Pierce. Property owner is Nancy Hatter Trust, the estate thereof in Hendersonville, North Carolina. And case number code 2512-116-374, location of violation 5607 Cassia Drive in Fort Pierce. Property owner Calazuberto Conclaves de Oliveiras out of West Palm Beach. I believe those were the only two potential defaults. Have the halls been sounded?
Yes, the hall's been sounded. Thank you.
Okay, I don't see anybody. So in reference to the cases, read into the record, I, as special magistrate, enter an order finding the alleged violators are in default, as they did not appear to protest the violation against them. And I adopt the recommendations of staff as set forth on the agenda. I believe that's all the business we have for this morning. Nothing for rehearing or reconsideration, no repeat violations, nothing to refer to the Board of County Commissioners, no fine reduction hearings, other business, staff business. Anything else?
Nothing new.
Well, that's going to do it for this April 1st, and we will adjourn at 11:01.
Thank you.